At 10 years old, she wasn't playing games. She was reading federal case files.
The killer lived in their house. After murdering them,
They left their shelter calmly and never returned the same.
They packed their truck like they were coming back. They never did. They were almost home. Then they drove the wrong way.
they followed written instructions and never came back. The ship was still sailing. Everyone was gone.
3 people vanished overnight. Nothing in the house was disturbed. The verdict was final, but the questions never were.
He didn't leave messages. He left photographs. The killer lived in their house after murdering them. In 1922, an entire family was found murdered on a remote German farm. 6 people, including grandmom. But this wasn't a robbery. Money was untouched. Food was eaten. Animals were fed after the murders. Days before their deaths, the family reported footsteps in the snow, leading from the forest, but never back.
They heard sounds in the attic, found a newspaper they didn't own, and keys began disappearing.
Each victim was lured into the barn, one by one, silently. Someone they trusted was waiting. After killing them, the murderer stayed, slept in the house, cooked meals, lived among the bodies. The case was never solved, and whoever did it walked away unnoticed.
They left their shelter calmly and never returned the same.
In 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered a remote mountain region in Russia. They were prepared. Their shelter was later found, cut open from the inside. Their belongings were neatly left behind, shoes included. Footprints showed they walked away calmly. No signs of panic, no signs of a chase, just quiet steps into the darkness. Some were found far apart, some dressed for warmth, others not. None of it followed logic. Investigators noted strange details, unusual internal injuries, no external explanation, and elevated radiation on clothing. The official conclusion used one phrase only: an unknown compelling force. Nothing more. Search teams later said one thing felt wrong. The footprints didn't look rushed. They looked intentional.
They packed their truck like they were coming back. They never did.
In 2009, a family of 3 disappeared in Oklahoma. They left their home suddenly, but nothing looked rushed.
Their truck was later found abandoned in the mountains. Inside were wallets, thumbs, even their family pet, still waiting.
No signs of a struggle, no message, just a vehicle parked neatly on a dirt road. Friends noticed something else. Before leaving, the family had filmed a video. They sat silently, not speaking, not reacting. Their eyes stayed fixed on something off camera, as if listening or waiting for a signal. Years later, investigators reached a conclusion, but many details didn't align, and some questions were never answered publicly. The truck looked ready for a return trip, as if the plan was simple: leave and come back.
They were almost home. Then they drove the wrong way.
In 1978, 5 men went to watch a basketball game in California, routine-driven, and excited to be home early. Instead of driving south, they turned north, straight into remote mountains, for no clear reason. Their car was later found abandoned, perfectly functional, plenty of fuel, windows down, keys missing. Months later, search teams made a discovery. 1 man was found miles away. Others were located inside a shelter, with food stored. Strange part? The food was never used, even though it was easy to open, even though help was possible. No explanation connected all the details. No agreement on why they left the road. They weren't lost. They weren't trapped. So the question remains, what made them stop? They followed written instructions and never came back. In 1966, two electronics technicians traveled to a hill outside Rio de Janeiro. They told family they would return the same night. They didn't pack much, just a notebook, some cash, and two homemade metal face coverings. Days later, they were found lying side by side, dressed formally. No signs of panic, no signs of a struggle. The notebook contained instructions, timed steps, carefully written. One line stood out.
After the effect, protect the eyes.
There were no witnesses, no clear conclusion, and no agreement on what they expected to happen on that hill. They arrived prepared. They followed the plan. So the question remains, what were they waiting for? The ship was still sailing. Everyone was gone. In 1872, a merchant ship called the Mary Celeste was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean. The cargo was untouched. Personal belongings were neatly arranged. Food was still on the tables. There were no signs of damage, no signs of disorder, and no sign of the crew, including the captain's family. The only thing missing was a lifeboat. Weather records showed calm seas, no reason to leave, no urgency. Navigation tools were left behind. Logbooks ended mid-journey, as if the decision was sudden, but not rushed. Investigators searched for answers. They found theories, but nothing that explained why everyone would step away at once. The ship kept moving, following its path, as if it was waiting for its crew to return.
3 people vanished overnight. Nothing in the house was disturbed.
In 1992, two friends returned home after a graduation party in Missouri. One planned to sleep on the couch. The other had work in the morning. Inside the house, everything looked normal. Purses lined up neatly, keys placed where they always were, lights left on. There were no signs of urgency, no broken doors, no indication anyone left in a hurry. Then something strange happened. The phone began ringing repeatedly. When friends answered, no one spoke. One message was left, but before investigators arrived, it was erased. No one remembers what it said. 3 people were gone, from a locked, familiar place, without a trace that explained why. The house stayed exactly the same, as if they had just stepped away to answer the phone and never came back.
The verdict was final, but the questions never were.
In Florida, a girl lived with a foster family. From the outside, everything looked ordinary, routine, approved. Behind closed doors, investigators later said a very different picture existed, one that went unnoticed for far too long. In 2011, a girl was found unresponsive. Her foster father claimed it was sudden, but medical findings raised immediate concerns. Evidence showed a long pattern of harm, not a single moment, but repeated failures by people meant to protect her. In court, jurors heard months of testimony, photos, reports, warnings that were missed.
The final verdict was clear. Her foster father was held responsible and sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
The case was officially closed, but one question still echoes. How many signs were there before anyone looked closely? He left photographs. In the late 1970s, a man in the Midwest appeared polite, organized, and helpful. No one noticed anything unusual. He approached women with small requests, a ride, a favor, always calm, always prepared. Investigators later found a pattern. He kept records, detailed notes, and photographs taken the moments before everything changed. The images weren't random. They were planned, labeled, stored carefully as if the photos were the real goal. When authorities finally connected the dots, they discovered multiple cases linked by one thing: the same camera. In court, the evidence spoke without emotion. The verdict was decisive. The story, officially, was over. Investigators said one detail still stands out. In every image, the subject looked unaware, as if the moment was ordinary.
At 10 years old, she wasn't playing games. She was reading federal case files.
According to court records, a quiet 10-year-old girl showed an unusual talent for patterns and systems. Teachers thought she was just gifted. At home, she explored public databases, then noticed something that didn't behave like the rest. The access went unnoticed for weeks. During that time, she read case summaries meant only for trained analysts. Investigators later confirmed she accessed restricted federal records without authorization, not by force, by understanding how the system thought. When the activity was finally flagged, authorities expected an adult. Instead, they found a child doing homework at the kitchen table. No damage was done. No data shared. But the question changed everything. How long had she been invisible? In the official report, one line stood out. The access began earlier than we thought, and the timestamp was the same as the first file.